let's now jump into this whole idea of the water tower shooter, okay? Because this is where it gets really interesting. As I said, the rabbit hole goes deep with this one. So, okay, this is a map that was put together that shows, and I apologize for the podcast listeners. So this shows right here. Okay, there's Trump's location on the grandstand there. He's on the stage. The star right there to the lower right on the white building top. This is where the shooter was. Okay, this is where the guy that we're all focusing on. This is where he was laying when they found, or when they killed him. I think that, so if you look at these white roofs to the left of where Trump was at, I believe that's where the sniper and his spotter were. Right, that photo's been shared a lot. You have the sniper and the spotter, the guy who actually took this guy out. That's where they are. But then over here, I'll zoom out a little bit. Over here is a water tower, and this water tower has a perfect line of sight as well to where Trump was. Now, you could probably go into Google Earth and find a handful of places that say, okay, well, someone could have been here, someone could have been up in this tree, they could have been in this other location. Okay. But what's interesting, as this post says, is that multiple eyewitness accounts have emerged stating they heard a shot coming from the water tower. It's plausible if you look at where it is in relationship to the shooter. Okay, so let's come to this first thing. Okay, here is I'll kind of talk over it as this is going. So this is showing you right here. This is giving you just a more of a 3D representation of the area. And so you can see the little green plus sign, if it moves in, is where the sniper was. The red is where the shooter was. And you have this water tower, though. And so this is this is using satellite images. They're rotating around so that basically you can see that from this water tower, it appears that you have a very clear line of sight to where Trump was. Okay, so there is the rooftop. They're showing where the shooter was, right? Everyone's focused on. But you can also see there that there's a water tower. Okay, highly suspicious. Okay, now what's suspicious of it is these interviews. So there's actually, I think I've got 3 separate interviews to show you. Okay, so first interview I pull up for you. So here we go.
Fence where the other shooter was. There was one I heard in the water tower. There was one by the fence. And still, obviously, initial reports. But what we do know, according to...
Okay, let me make that a little bigger for you.
Where the other shooter was. There was one I heard in the water tower. There was one by the fence. And still, obviously, initial reports. But what we do know, according...
She's saying that, okay, I heard 2 shooters, one by the water tower, one by the fence. But what's also interesting is watch the body language of the reporter. I'll play this again. It's only 8 seconds. As soon as she mentions a shooter by the water tower, this woman, the reporter, instantly shuts it down and kind of dismisses it. Like, okay, well, we're still kind of gathering information. Watch again. Watch her body language when this woman mentions a second shooter location, because the press will tell you a lot. They tell you a lot by not telling you things. Okay, watch again.
To the fence where the other shooter was. There was one I heard in the water tower. There was one by the fence. And still, obviously, initial reports. But what we do know, according...
Again, she kind of pulls away and she's like, okay, still just initial reports. And she very quickly dismisses it, right? Very, very strange. Let's go to the next interview. Okay, so here, this is 37 seconds long. This is another interview of people talking about a shooter in a water tower. Let's go and play this.
First crack of the gunfire, and I just screamed, it's the sniper, and he was firing down toward the water tower.
That's what we're hearing.
And yeah, and then at that same exact moment, there was a spray from the right side of the stage that I thought was some type of gas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or not gas, but smoke. To blind,
Sure.
Blind up front. And he said he heard it was gunfire hitting the hydraulic on the track. So the gunfire was coming toward the stage.
Wow.
And then a few minutes later, there was a couple more shots down the hill, and that's when they started flooding and pushing everybody out. First crack of the gunfire, and I just screamed.
So again, someone else mentioning hearing these shots from the water tower. And there's still another interview, right? So here is this is a third, and actually this person, Bad Kitty Unleashed, I give them credit because they've actually done a decent job compiling this. A third witness talking about how there was a water tower shooter. So this is a small a small clip because it's 2 minutes long, but I found the part just about that. So watch this.
Coming out here is now they feel that there was two shooters on both sides. So they got the one on the tower on this side, but the one on the right side they never got. So that's why they wanted us to leave immediately, because they thought there's still a shooter out there somewhere.
So again, she's mentioning how they got the shooter on the water tower or the tower, and there's still one else there. So again, when you're looking at all this put together, it's like, what's really going on here? Okay, is this okay? This guy that a lot of the discussion so far has been okay. The shooter that everyone is focused on. I forget the guy's name. It escapes me. I could probably find. Oh, okay, Crooks, right? Thomas Matthew Crooks. So they're focusing on the fact that this guy wasn't a good shot. He was kicked out of his high school. He wasn't allowed to join his high school rifle club. And there's all this speculation of like, okay, was this guy the shooter? But again, even if you go back and look at the JFK files, like, Oswald, it was such a difficult location to shoot from. And kind of putting all together the ballistics and everything, it just didn't really add up. And so with this, again, and maybe this answers one of the questions that I asked last night, was that, okay, taking a step back, if there's this grand conspiracy, if we've got this situation where the Secret Service is in on it, the police are somehow in on it, everyone that matters is somehow in on it, which if you look at the absolute negligence, it seems to suggest that, then the question that I have is, then why would they take this plan that obviously was I think the Secret Service must have been aware of it at some level, right, to allow us to happen. Why would that entire plan be hinging on some, young kid that just got out of high school that may or may not be able to pull off the shot? I mean, they wouldn't risk that. Like, they wouldn't go through all of this stuff to have it, like, the entirety of this plan rest on this one kid and whether or not he can successfully pull off the assassination. So it really makes me think that there's a good chance that, okay, if taking a step back, if there's this coordination, if the Secret Service had some level of involvement or knowledge, et cetera, that they also had other, now whether it was them or, who knows? Okay, I'm not sure if it was a Secret Service sniper up on the water tower, but that whatever deep state bad actor there was that was planning this, it makes sense that they would have at least one or two backup shooters, if not one or two main shooters, right? Where it could have been, hey, Joe in the water tower, you're the one that's taking the shot. Okay, you're the one that's taking the shot. And the kid on the roof, he's just going to fire into the air and everyone's going to think it was him. Okay, but it also, because a lot of people were saying that, oh, thank goodness this kid wasn't that great of a shot because he missed. And yes, thankfully, there were some miscalculations and Trump turned his head and he did miss. But if you think about the fact that if there was some person on the water tower that we don't know about and we'll probably never know about, right? That person, my guess is that person would have been an expert sniper, right? Like you don't put your average people in for something like this. It would have been someone that was probably a highly trained, highly skilled, probably whether it's ex-military or whatever, sniper. So the fact that even under that scenario, that Trump still walked away, just missing a little bit of an ear, is, I mean, to me, it's divine intervention. Folks, we all see it. Everything's getting more expensive. We're paying 2, 3, 4 times what things cost us a few years ago. And we know they're lying to us. 3% inflation, really? Think about it. Why are they telling us to keep our hard-earned money in the banks and stock market while they're rushing to buy gold and silver? That's right. Governments and central banks around the world are dumping the dollar and scrambling to buy up gold and silver right now. These are smart people. They see the signs just like you do. They know the crash is coming. The dollar has lost more than half its value in the last 5 years, and our national debt's increasing $1 trillion every 100 days. Folks, it can't go on like this. Even Bank of America is warning about a dollar collapse. And if they're right, it's only a matter of time before our savings, our IRAs, and our 401ks could be wiped out. Look, right now, it's easy to buy gold and silver, but in the future, it may not be. Experts are saying that prices will keep surging, and UBS says gold could even go up to $5,000 an ounce. Kirk Elliott's phone has been ringing off the hook because the folks who get it aren't wasting time. Now, I can't tell you what to do with your hard-earned money, but I can tell you that even if just some of your savings are in gold and silver, you can rest assured that money is safe. So call Kirk Elliott today and protect your wealth. It's better to be 6 months early than 1 day late. So call Kirk Elliott today at 720-605-3900 or visit goldwithseth.com. Fill out the form, set up your free wealth consultation. Again, 720-605-3900 or goldwithseth.com. Folks, you better act today.